Credit risk. So fixed income investments have credit risk. Now credit risk is basically how credit worthy the institution is that is issuing that debt. So when you're buying a bond, when you're investing in fixed income, you're actually lending to someone else, some other company, some other country. And in the text I describe how we'd all rather lend to a dependable person instead of an undependable person. So the less dependable it is, the higher they have to pay us to entice us to invest in it. And that's what's called a risk premium. So these credit rating agencies known as Moody's, Standard & Poor's, and Fitch, they rate all types of bond issuers based on their credit worthiness. And they classify it as either investment grade or junk bonds. So junk bonds, they're not quite as bad as they sound. In fact, a lot of times they're known as high yield debt. And high yield debt just means that it's paying a higher rate to you. So this rate could be paying 5, 6, 7, 8%, where investment grade debt could be paying half that. So it really could give you a lot more premium for that amount of risk you're taking, even on the fixed income side. But there's a few downsides to it. Number one, again, that credit worthiness of it is somewhat of a drag on the portfolio. So if you're buying a fund with a lot of high yield debt in it, a lot of high yield bond funds, then there's going to be a drag from some of those individual holdings defaulting on their loans. You may not notice it as much, but there may just be a little bit of a drag in the portfolio value. Another thing is that they tend to track closer to stocks during market movements. So let's say during the 2008 recession, a lot of your investments, a lot of your bond funds may have increased in value, or at least maybe held their value, where a lot of high yield debt actually lost value, sometimes significantly, along with stocks. So they don't have as much risk control associated with the high yield bonds as you might think. So this is just something that if you're trying to buy the bonds for risk control, then that could be an issue. However, if you're trying to maybe get them to increase the overall yield and the overall income that's generated from that part of your investment portfolio, then you're going to get more income from high yield debt. So adding some of that to your positions could be an okay solution. So let's say if you got a 60-40 portfolio, which means 40% of it is made up of fixed income assets. Well, if you've made 5 or 10% of that in high yield, then that could just sort of increase the average yield from that 40. And it may be an okay thing. But again, you want to stay diversified and just, I think, ultimately be aware that there are risks associated with investing in different types of fixed income asset classes. We've already talked about, reinvestment risk, inflation risk, interest rate risk, and credit risk is just one more that you need to know about. But I hope that makes sense. And again, bonds are a unique thing, and they should provide you with some income and some risk control, but different ones are going to kind of do different versions of all of those concepts. But I hope that helps, and I look forward to sharing more in the next few lessons to come.